We will now learn about image trace. Image trace is very popular because you can take an image, it could be a JPEG, a PNG, TIFF, any type of image, you bring it into Illustrator and it will trace the image for you. So it'll create a vector image from your image. This is very powerful, even though it does create a lot of anchor boxes, so it can be actually get quite complicated. So that is what we're going to do. My file is 11 inches in width, 8.5 inches in height. I have 5 artboards. None of this really matters. CMYK color is for printing. I will switch it into RGB color. Maybe I'm just going to be on the web. Okay. CMYK color is for the ink cartridges, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And I will just hit create. I will open up window brushes. Alright, so there we go. So layers, swatches, stroke palette, brushes. I have my objects up as tear-offs. I have my rotate and reflect tools. I will go window color. Also to open up that palette. Mine happens to be up, as you can see here. I'll keep it in this little corner. I will save my workspace, window workspace. You can see I've done it before, but I will go to new workspace. You can call it whatever you want. I'll just call it Illustrator. I can go to File, Place to bring in an image. It can be any image you want, a JPEG, any of the examples that I have brought in. I do have a monkey and other different things. I'm going to be bringing in a bird. Or you can just go to your desktop and drag an image into your file. I'm using one layer. File, place. I'm going to click on this bird. I will hit place. I'll click on my screen, and here is my image. I'm in my black arrow, so selecting it, I will hit Command plus to magnify it. Command minus, hit my space bar with my left hand to move it around. Okay, so from Getty Images, and you can pay for Getty Images. You pay them a certain amount, and then you can use their images in your artwork. All right, so I'm clicking on the image. You'll notice that there at the very top, you have image trace, so I can click here along this menu, which is real nice. You also want to go into window image trace. So window image trace, so you can see a palette also. So there's many ways to go into this. What is great is the Illustrator is going to automatically trace my image and turn it into vector format, which is really great, even though it can get a little bit complicated, but it's a really nice thing. So what I'm going to do is I've selected the image. Across the top, you have on your image trace palette, you have icons, auto color, high color, low color, grayscale, black and white. I'll just click on black and white really quickly so you can see that's what happens. I'll hit Command Z to undo that. And where it says preset default, you also have even more choices. All right, so I'm going to click on high fidelity photo, which means that we're going to get all the different shades and colors in this, so it's going to get very complicated. If you're working with a screen printer or you want to have a simplified image, you would maybe click on low fidelity or 3 colors, 6 colors, 16 colors. All right, but I'm going to click on high fidelity. May as well live it up. You have to give your computer a little chance to react to this. So again, I could have clicked up at the top, but I am not. I'm going to use my palette. Where it says view, tracing result might be the one you want to go on. Okay, that's where you're just going to trace it. The tracing with outlines will give you actually an outline also, but generally you're going to go into just tracing result. If you want to still see your image, go to outline with source images. I'm not going to that. I already know what it looks like. I just want to trace it. Color, Okay, color, grayscale, black and white. I'll keep it to color, but you know, black and white and grayscale are also great. Right now it's set to 85 colors, so I can maximize or minimize it. The more colors, the more anchor boxes you're going to have, and it gets really complicated. I do show in my symbol palette class how to, oh wow, it's already changing it, which is nice. And what it is I'm going to lower this and you can see that it's getting rid of some of my colors. So it still looks good, so I'm just kind of simplifying it. So it's really your option. I'm at 50 colors. That's still a lot. Let's say I did it with a screen printer. I'm going to take it down to 7 colors. All right, so you can see my computer has to work a little bit, but now this is a lot simpler. You see how kind of cool it looks though? So, you know, you can keep moving this around. This is really powerful. I'm going to bring it up to more colors just to be a little bit fancy. Maybe I'm doing a poster so I can handle a lot of colors. So again, keep in mind, so I've set it to 74 colors. It's whatever you want. All right, but the more colors, the more expensive it is. But where it says advanced, I can increase my amount of paths, right, which again will increase the resolution and the complicatedness of this. I'm leaving it at 61%. If I want to get more corners, make it more jumpy, I would change this dial here where it says corners. Less corners is smoother. I'm just leaving that alone. Noise, if you want to rough it up, you can pull it to the right. It's amazing how my computer is doing a lot of thinking. Where it says method, click on the one to the left, abutting. That's where it's just like a puzzle where you just kind of cut out everything. Where it says overlapping, it's going to create the fill above the stroke, and just click on the one to the left unless you really want to you know, get involved with it, but that's the one for method where you would click on that icon. If you want to ignore white, you could click on that and get rid of your white. Keep in mind I can delete. If this was a solid background, like maybe it was green or blue, I could click on this with my white arrow group tool, or my white arrow. That's what we're going to be using with this, and just hit delete and things. So that's basically a nice setup. I have it basically set where I want. All right, so if you hit expand, then I convert it into paths. Okay, so that's basically what you're going to do is hit expand. I'm going to do it a couple ways, but if you want to just kind of do that, you could. I'll notice if I hit preview and I hit trace, which is what I would think I would do, it clicks back on preview, so it's really not doing much for me. I'll click on my white arrow to see if anything happened, and nothing happened, so I don't know if that's a bug or what. So usually we just click on expand here, so it's convert tracing objects to paths. However, I am going to go into object, image trace, and expand. If you go to release, you're just going to undo everything. I'll hit release just briefly, and it turns it into its original image. I'm going to hit Command Z to undo that, so now you can see that's back into being where I'm utilizing image trace. So I will do it the slow way. Instead of going into expand up at the top, I will click object, image trace, and expand this way. Look at all those anchor boxes. All right, I click away to deselect. I'm in my white arrow, but what is cool is I can click on any anchor box and change the color. So now I've converted the artwork to what I want. Okay, if you want to use click on an anchor box and move stuff around, but you gotta be careful. I click right on the edge, I can click on an anchor box and move it. All right, so if you use the lower resolution, you would actually have it a little easier. Group selection tool, I can click on that, white arrow plus tool. So you kind of can click on an edge and change the color maybe a little bit easier. Command Z is undo, see I selected too much, but I'll just click away and then I'll click on one of these objects here. So you can choose that tool also. All right, but look at all these anchor boxes. So I'll be my black arrow, I select the whole thing. You can see the outline here. Now you can see the outline, which is not really necessary to me, but you can play around with the options if you want to see different looks. You know, I would just went to tracing result. I'm going to keep it kind of simple. All right, and then my white arrow plus tool to see all the anchor boxes. I click a square around the entire image by selecting outside the image. You can see all those anchor boxes. All right, so to print this object, it's going to be very difficult. All right, because look at all these anchor boxes. It can take the printer forever to print it. So there is a way to simplify this. I cover this in my symbol palette class. However, I'm going to show it here also. And that's where you go into Window, Symbols. And this is going to get rid of all the anchor boxes. Okay, so I'm going to hit Command minus because I'm going to show you the professional way to do it. And that is where you actually create two objects. So I'm in my white arrow plus tool. I selected the whole thing. I hit Option. I click and drag to create another object. That way, if I want to go back to my original object with all the anchor boxes, I'm good. But if I take my black arrow now, that's always really good because it means you're selecting the whole thing. If I drag into my symbol palette, dynamic symbol is fine. It doesn't really matter. Static symbol will save memory. So I'll just click on that, even though either way would work. Movie clip, I'll click on it's on static symbol. None of this really matters, but this is showing you the official way. I just click OK. All right, so now it's in my symbol palette library. And again, in my symbol palette class, I really get more extensive on symbols. But if I pull it out, you see there's no anchor boxes. So now I could actually print this, and it would print very quickly because there's no anchor boxes. So the printer would say, okay, you changed all your colors, you did what you wanted. Now we get rid of all those anchor boxes, and I can print quickly. So just keep that in mind. All right, but now I'm back into my original image here to the right. I will close my symbol palette. All right, if I go into Object, Image Trace, you can see there's not much I can do there. Everything's blacked out. If I go into Live Paint, I can click Make. Again, it's going to have to do stuff. I click away to deselect. Now I go back into my white arrow. All right, so my white arrow plus tool, I click on it, and I'm back into having my anchor boxes. All right, so if you want to mess around with this, or my white arrow plus tool, again, I'm clicking on my original image because this image here to the left is the one I played with the symbols. This one is the duplicate image, so these two are the same. So again, make sure you duplicate your images. Why throw away something when you might use it again? And again, I'm just right back into my old area where I'm changing colors with my white arrow plus tool. But I did use Live Paint, so there is a Live Paint tool here, Live Paint selection tool. It's about 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 from the top. Live Paint selection tool, so I can click on my screen. So you're basically right back to where you started with the anchor boxes. I can change the color, but maybe you like doing this better. So that's Live Paint selection tool. All right, or I can click on Live Paint bucket. Okay, so I'm kind of doing it's all just little different ways to do the same things, but I'm just clicking around. I'm changing my fill color. I have my fill in front. You can change your stroke by clicking on your stroke. Put that in front, change that color if that's what you want to do. Okay, so that's a really good, again, putting my fill color in, you see. So that's what's kind of nice. If you just know you're going to always use the fill, but so that is using these tools. I take my black arrow, I click on my object, and again, I had gone into Window, Image Trace to get to these options. Okay, I can go back, select my object, go to Object, and if I go into Live Paint, Release, click away, you can see how it turns it into this kind of an image. If I click on my white arrow, you can see that, so I'm black and white here, and I could change colors that way. So there's a lot of options. All right, so that gives you a good view of Image Trace. Again, you have a lot of options. It's really nice to duplicate your original image so that you can always guarantee that you can go back to it, okay, and start over again if that's what you want to do. I'm just going to hit Command Z a couple times so I can get this back to normal here. I'll just quickly do one last thing. File, place. I'll click on my image, click place, click on it. I'm going to go into a little different area just so you don't get confused. Click on my screen, there it is. I have image trace up. All right, so I covered the preset. You got all that, the different colors. I will go back into my preset default. I'll change it to 6 colors. I'll hit trace. Preview is not checked on, so I just click on trace. I'm going to hit Command Z a few times. All right, so I'm back into my image area. Okay, so I'm clicking back on mode. I'll change it to color. All right, tracing result, custom. Okay, that's fine. I'll have it custom. I can change my colors here. It's set to 30 colors. I can move it down if I want. I will hit trace. Preview is not checked on. I hit trace, and now it will trace my colors. If I hit Command Z and click on preview, that's also working. See, it says black and white color. Also keep in mind, if I hit expand at the top, I'll click on that. That's the shortcut. That's the quick way in order to see your anchor boxes. All right, so again, you click on your object, have your swatches up, and change color. So that is a good view of Live Trace. Enjoy. And again, it works on JPEGs, PNGs, whatever you so desire. Take care. Bye-bye.